Good morning, scholars. It is I, David, your mind mechanic, and on today's morning rush, I would like to talk about a little something that I like to call weed control. Now, I'll get to why I'm calling that in a minute. Something that comes up pretty frequently with my patients. Just went over a rumble strip. So, something that this is something I think everybody in our offices, everybody hears pretty frequently, which is, patients, like, they'll ask the question, why am I here? Like, in that, they don't want to be in our office. Like, they feel like they've got a human failing that is, indicative of them, being, defective in some way. They feel really self-conscious about the fact that they're in my office having a conversation with me about stuff that they never had a conversation with anyone about, or that, they're having to come to another human being, for assistance in life. And, it's a very real thing. We always try and reassure people, but, we respect the fact that, it's, nobody wants to have to, go get help from someone, in this manner. But again, a question, like, and just beyond the why am I here is, people they really want to know, is there something wrong with me that I couldn't handle this particular thing in life? It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, from anybody's viewpoint and anybody's metric, whether it's a big thing, a small thing, something that's got a lot of emotional and traumatic weight, or something that really doesn't. And people just, they're curious, like, is there something going on with me? And, if you look in the body of research, it's not to say that genetics don't play a component, or, aren't a component in personality and don't, have some sort of effect. I think anybody that's got children, I think there's absolutely a genetic component to personality. However, we've yet, as far as I know, and anybody who hears this can correct me if they've heard different, but as far as I know, we still haven't found, like, 1, 10, or even 100 genes in combination that would indicate, yeah, this is guaranteeing that this person is going to have, bipolar or schizophrenia or anxiety. Now, there is some indication in the research that there might be some predisposing genes, which is to say, there might be some genetic factors that might predispose someone to be a little more anxious compared to the next. But as far as I know, like, that doesn't mean that, someone's doomed to be just completely overwhelmed and overcome with anxiety in their life. So I say all this to say that, for the most part, a lot of this is, just like a general behavioral kind of thing. Now, again, why is it some people seem to do blah, 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 blah? Let's try that again. Why is it some people seem to do better than others with just any life stressor? And here's my take on this. I think that some people do seem to be, they might seem to be a little better at handling these things. They might seem to be a little better at certain preventive measures. And this is where this weed control thing comes in. Because a lot of this, not all of it, but there's a lot of this that I think is much like controlling weeds. So what I mean by that is, if anyone's owned a house or lived at a house, and they have a driveway and a yard, common thing that happens, what always drove me nuts was I get these weeds and even trees growing in my driveway, like in the little cracks, and that's whether you have a nice driveway or not. But there's preventive measures that you can take to help, prevent the occurrence and recurrence of weeds and little trees and stuff growing in the cracks of your driveway. Because if those things grow in your driveway, if they grow in those cracks, even the little tiny roots of, like, a dandelion will eventually break apart your driveway. And so there's little preventive measures that you can do. You can put out weed killer. You can just stop that stuff dead. Keeping your driveway clean, so keeping dirt away from it. So if there's not enough dirt for the for the little seeds to grow in. That can slow stuff down. Now, sometimes they'll grow without the dirt, but it helps to, like, kind of wash your driveway periodically. And again, these are very simple preventive measures that can help control those weeds. And I think there's a lot of our stuff in life, a lot of behaviors that if we just did them with some regularity, I don't think it would. I would still have a job. I don't think it would eliminate all the mental health issues and all the problems people have. But I think it would slow a lot of stuff down. And that's whether you do it just early on in life and you continue to do it, or you get started later in life and you continue to do it. I think that, again, there's preventive measures. It's a lot of the stuff that I've talked about in previous videos. It's a lot of what we talk about in our offices. There's a lot of little behavioral things that we can do ahead of time. Again, preventive measures that I think, again, it can slow some stuff down. I don't think it's gonna just completely keep something from happening in life. Sometimes stuff happens, there's just not a lot you can do about it. However, I think just getting into good habits, like I say, like anything, I've got some good information on my website for that, some previous videos. But yeah, you got to think about it in terms of weed control, preventive measures. So that's it. Really, if you want some good examples, I'd give some here, but go to my website at davidprobbins.com, or you can email me ytmindmechanic@gmail.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.